Oh, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Watchmen, the 82 podcast. It is your boy, Wally Analog, and I'm joined, as always, by my homie, the benevolent Suge Knight, Mr. 1% Rolls Royce Elite.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It wouldn't be a Watchmen podcast if we didn't invite a guest on here to share their perspective, and we keep it real 100% all the time, and we like everybody's perspective. Of course, we're not the only ones here talking. And it's a show that's got a whole lot of people talking. And so we want as many perspectives as we can get. So we brought in a friend of Mr. Rolls Royce Elite, Mr. Michael Lipinski. Did I get that right?
That's right.
That is exactly right. Please tell the people about yourself.
I'm here, Michael Lipinski, representing the white community.
I told you, we keep it diverse here.
Correct.
We're not scared. If you're scared, like I say, get a dog. We like everybody's perspective. So please.
Yes, you bet.
Continue.
But you know what? I'm here because I love comics,
Okay.
right? Animation,
Okay.
and I've been blessed to work in both.
See, now that
Yeah.
So there you go.
is it.
In college, started my own comic company with friends,
Oh, see, that's awesome.
right?
Right.
So like Rolls, I'm a designer, but I decided at some point I was needing comics. And so they didn't offer that at school. Started it myself with a bunch of buddies on the college dime. We self-published. So that was a good training ground. Then I got an internship at an animation studio, ink and paint and the cells. Like, so it goes all the way back to Doug. You know that show on Nickelodeon?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was my first job.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Taking it back to Doug.
This is not a game. Okay.
Worked on Blue's Clues,
Okay.
right? So children's entertainment, that's been my thing.
There's a lot of money in children's entertainment.
Yes,
though.
a lot of
By having
children.
we know how much money we have spent as a result.
How many
of
hours of television?
they can watch. Yeah.
Yeah, so working on Blue's Clues, and then I got to do color supervision on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know, the one that was on 4Kids. It was a little bit more like the comic. So I had to go from preschool entertainment to then doing the Ninja Turtles, up my game a little bit, right? And at that point, between jobs, did I lose my plug?
No, you're fine.
No, you're good.
You're good. You're good.
Between jobs, I started and co-created my own comic book.
Man.
So I was working on those skills. Buddy says, I got an idea for a movie. I don't know how many of you have friends that was like, I got a movie. Right?
Right.
And he said, werewolves on the U.S.-Mexico border. I'm going to take the myth. I'm going to update it. We're going to look at the politics of what's going on the border, and we're going to bring the horror there.
Interesting.
So I thought it was a great idea. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not going to make that movie. Let's make a comic. And so when I was between jobs, we put together a pitch book. I got used to doing that, working in animation, brought it to Comic-Con in New York, 2009. I go table to table, pitching it to all the publishers. And then the one table, I had no idea. I'm talking to an editor-in-chief, and he takes my pack, and he's like, hold on a second. And he rolls up, goes through the owner of the company, goes through one more guy. He's like, hey, we want you.
Wow.
So we did that. That was Archaea Entertainment, published that back in 2011. It was optioned for a movie. That lapsed. But like that was crazy because you got to see our story told through a bunch of other screenwriters' hands. I got a sense of that. I got a love for visual storytelling, right? So all that we're talking about today, all you guys have been talking about,
Right.
visual storytelling became the thing for me. So then moving to Nashville, right? So I was in New York. I moved to Nashville. My wife was from Georgia. She was done with New York. She's like, I love you, but we're going.
You gotta leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we came here, animation studio in town. It's called Magnetic Dreams.
Okay.
And they worked with Sesame Street, Marvel Comics. And we did a motion comic for the Ultimate Carnage thing that's going on now. Do you guys know, it's called Power Levels. It's on Screen Junkies. Art directed some of those recently. They pit like, who's the best Batman? And then they'll run the science behind it.
Oh, where can I find that?
And that's what we're on.
That's
Screen-
all we do is talk
Screen
about this.
Junkies.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's on Screen Junkies.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, like today at work, I was designing puppets, and otherwise working on animation for all sorts of companies, whether it's pharma or kids or whatever. But it's all in Nashville, and that's been amazing.
Yes.
Local artists, local creators. These guys have been doing it. They started in their basement 25 years ago.
Wow, man.
Yeah, I'm loving the creative scene in Nashville right now.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really booming.
Crazy.
So
it doesn't have to be the coasts anymore.
right,
We're all bringing it here.
Right. Man, before we get started, just one real question, man. Like, pitching it to like, how hard was that? Like, first of all, how long ago was you said 09, right? When you
It
doing
was
it?
09.
Now, how difficult is that to just like essentially door to door that and try to get people to believe in your vision without having any prior exposure to you? Like, because I guess in my mind, I guess it's a numbers game, right? You're pitching it to whoever and however many you can until somebody gives you that shot. Like, how much of that did you have to do even before you got to the Comic-Con that year to finally get that, get your foot in the door?
No, I hear it's a great question. I feel like I was lucky, right? I was fortunate that working in animation, I thought a pitch book needed to be one thing, and most other comic artists and writers hadn't done that. So that's the other thing too, right? We were lucky. We got a writer and we had an artist. So I was the artist. Sometimes one doesn't have the other. So that's already a leg up.
Yes, what happened to you, boy? I kind of experienced that a little bit myself.
Right? Yeah. It's real. Yeah. So we had each other, put together this thing, and also I got advice. It wasn't from him directly, but in the back of a Walking Dead comic, Robert Kirkman says, this is what you do. So I'm going to listen to Robert Kirkman. Created Walking Dead. Right. Followed what he did. I took what I knew in animation, and basically this. Put in a script, put in 5 pages of sequential art. They want to know you could do that. You're not just doing pinups. But then I included covers. This is what it's going to look like on the shelf. This is what we were putting out as a company.
Preparation.
It's like a vision, right? Yeah. So what I had to sell them on, because you're totally right. I was a nobody, right? My credentials in animation meant nothing, right? Maybe a little bit, because at least I could show I could work in a creative field.
Right.
But when I showed him the full package, that's what impressed him. The idea that I had a sense of, here's what we're going to do for you on an issue-by-issue basis. This is what it looks like on the stands, and here's why it's important to your company.
You literally had a visual business plan in front of them.
Pretty much. Yeah. But here's the thing. Nobody bit except for the person I didn't even know. I had no plan for him, right? Because other companies, I researched them. I knew what they liked. I knew what their line looked like. And I go to this table, and he's like, what's going on? Oh, just I'm taking a break. Oh, nice books over here. And he had one that was Werewolves at the American Revolution. Right, I would never think to pitch to a company that already has a historical werewolf book of all things.
He got one already.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's funny. I got this, and he said, let me see it. I thought he was the cashier.
There you go.
So yes, I don't know if that answers your question, but
man, it does. Yeah, it's just crazy. But it goes a long way in saying how important preparation is and how important going above and beyond what I guess those in the industry are already. Right, like just if you have that to show. It illustrates your level of dedication and drive, right? So, yeah.
And also what Nike says, just do it.
Just do it. Don't be afraid.
Right.
Cool.
Like even if you don't have the experience, just try to prepare as much as you can.
And look better than the next person. That's right. Man, that's a good story, man.
Appreciate it.
That's a good story. And it's inspirational. It's time to get the pen out. Other stuff I need to be doing, but we have to do the important business of talking about this Watchmen episode. A mind is give it up for those in the writing room responsible for this lovely piece of just video loveliness. And
Cord Jefferson,
my goodness.
Cord
Jefferson. We'll talk about but before we do that, we want to give our respect to those who are quite honestly responsible for this podcast, whether they pledge their time or, as it were, their financial support out on patreon.com/EST1982 podcast. That is patreon.com/EST1982 podcast. If you indeed also would like to pledge your financial support so we can continue to keep these lights on and add podcasts on to this network, which seems like a weekly thing.
Yes.
we have a number of them. We have this Watchmen podcast. We have the Black Lightning podcast. We have the Naomi podcast on the comic book. We have the new Far Sector dedicated to the new DC
have you read that?
Lantern comic
book.
Oh, N.K. Jemisin. I can't say enough about this woman. She's dope. And she can write novels and comics. She's amazing. Far Sector. And then, of course, we do the flagship podcast, the Established 1982 podcast, the one that kicked it all off. But if you would like to support us in that endeavor of keeping all 5 of those afloat and hopefully adding more, just go to patreon.com/EST1982 podcast. And those that have done so are my lovely wife, Carrie Ledbetter. Thank you so much for your support, whether it be financial or in every other way imaginable as my wife. Thank you so much. Raphael M. Jordan is a supporter and has been for a long time. Jamal Weidman representing Philly, but loves those Ravens. They're going to the Super Bowl. It is, and they got the MVP on their team. Jamal Weidman representing out there in Philly. We got Terrence Don't Call Me Richie Rich. And we have Brandon King, Enigmatic 52 out there on the Xbox Live if you need him. We got Militant Billy, a.k.a. Mage TV, and the Professor. Rude to both of those cues. We got Johnny Prototype, He's representing out there in Cali. And Tori Moore in the ATL. If you would like to join this group of who we affectionately refer to as the District 9 on patreon.com/EST1982 podcast, do so and pledge as little as $1 to the support of this podcast. So
that's a
coffee.
No more.
Yeah, it's not no more. No. And maybe in 85,
a splash of
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe back when Hooded Justice kicked it off.
Speaking
in the 30s. Hooded Justice. We had a guest on a little while ago.
Yes.
One Quinn McGowan, who blessed us with his theory. Now, granted, there may have been others that may have surmised the same out on Reddit, but we purposely stay away from Reddit as much as possible.
Right.
Because I don't want to get spoiled, get spoiled by those who are just so adept at just guessing stuff. Right. I don't know if they have anything better to do, but that's what they do. Rather than go around the table and get everybody's initial reaction to the episode, we've already applauded. It was dope. And as Mr. Michael Lipinski said here, he's a white man. And so,
really?
We couldn't tell.
I couldn't tell.
We pride ourselves on diversity here, even though those have a problem with it. We don't. And so we would just like to get your opinion. Again, your background. And you just let everybody know your background from an artist perspective, from a lover and aficionado of comics, as it were. This episode, we were talking earlier, best hour of television. And that was what you said to me.
Absolutely.
So go into that as far as your reasoning is concerned.
Take it back 1 second.
Okay.
I had no interest in this show.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Is that right?
Yes, I'm one of those people who
you were familiar with the comic, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I felt like the comic was done.
Right. Don't mess up the classics.
Yes. And also 12 issues, self-contained. I didn't read any of the before Watchmen stuff. Doomsday Clock. I don't know if you guys have read any of that.
I haven't read any of it. Yeah.
I'm
afraid of that. Quite honestly, I don't know what to think about that.
And I'm not a purist, but I felt like there are so few comics that tell a story in multiple parts and they tie it up so well.
Right.
So I just didn't need more.
Right.
Lindelof, hit or miss, right? Like, Lost, we all know, kind of went off the rails. And it's fine. Like, I mean, and hey, it's a grand experiment. That show, that was before we had DVR. I was racing home from work to see that show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I haven't seen Leftovers. I know you guys have not.
Yeah, I have not either.
Right?
I've heard nothing but wonderful things about a 3-season show.
Right. Yeah. And I'll give it a shot, and especially Regina King's in it too. But here's the thing. That first episode dropped, and when I heard and saw what they did with Tulsa, I stood up. It's like, what is going on with this show, right? Because otherwise, my fear was it was just going to be playing around with Alan Moore's toys.
right.
That's not it.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah. So it's just for me, that sense that once the first episode went down, and already there's that feeling of like somebody's putting something out there in pop culture that matters. Right, because we can get into all number of shows where it's just fun to pick apart the Easter eggs and go through and see. Craft is great, right? But this has it all. Like, I'm really impressed, and then I feel like this episode takes all the promise of what the show is saying. This show is saying when that blood spatter hits that badge, it's saying what's happened in America to African Americans is as crucial and as damaging as the Cold War, as nuclear annihilation. Because that was the subtext of all of the first Watchmen.
I hadn't thought about it like that.
Right? Because it's 1-to-1. Hold them both up, right? That's the end of each first episode, first issue. So I was like, and then I was scared. I was like, are you going to deliver? You better deliver.
Right. You got a lot of work to do if
right.
you're going to go there.
And I don't know. I would say, and we debated a little bit before we got on, can somebody who's not familiar with the other episodes deal with this episode on its own? But this episode, for me, delivered on all the promises of not only the series so far, but what was going on almost under the hood of the original Watchmen.
Well played. Played.
Right. Bowing.
Yes.
You mentioned the Tulsa riot scene.
Yeah.
Can you expound on that, like how you were feeling when you witnessed that, and then maybe like how you felt, or like did you question if it was real or not, or like can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. No, I mean, it's horrifying. I mean, honestly, it's one of those situations where, and fortunately, I think this episode does it well too.
Right.
It depicts violence and it depicts something that's horrific without sensationalizing it, without trying to make it
Right.
entertainment, violent for violence sake, right? But already it had this great gloss because, right, I feel like the tight wire act they're doing here is we're making a show. It's about superheroes, right? Or at least costume vigilantes.
Right.
So already they're like interlacing the superhero myth of the Superman being, planets being destroyed. But I don't know, for me, the weight of that was real. The idea that, no, it's not Krypton.
Right.
Right.
It's Tulsa.
Yes.
Right.
Hard to look at, hard to look away, right? So anyway, I guess for me, the main thing was I find it hard in this day to just kick back and, look, there are plenty of great things out there to watch. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, for me, it's like changed animation,
Yes.
uses my favorite character, and like I could watch that all day. But now I feel a little guilty if I'm just taking time just unplugging. So I think this is trying to serve two things. It's saying like, hey, we're going to tell you a story, but also it's also about the power of story, right? I think if you watch this episode we're talking about, a lot of it's about what inspires us from the things that we watch.
Right.
So it made me stand up. I don't know if that's answering your question, but
Yeah. No, it did. It
okay, that's where I was.
Because it's
I didn't know about it, by the way.
apparently it was a
Yeah, I didn't-
polarizing
yeah, I
scene.
didn't
It
know
was
about it
like
until college.
that was the first scene of the show, and there were some people that got in their everybody got in their feelings about it
One way or another.
in one way or the other.
Yeah.
Like for me, it was just a sobering reminder of this happened within this century. Like it's not too far removed
Yes. Yeah.
from where we are now. Like it's not like we're talking about 500 BC.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like
right.
Roman Empire stuff or
Right.
like no, this is
Right.
American history. And then the fact that there wasn't a lot of people that even knew about it,
Yes.
that's the other thing. And then when you hear people complain about it, it's like, but did you look it up and see that
Right.
this is actually American history?
Yeah.
And does that evoke any kind of dialogue or like sympathy or just any kind of emotion?
Yes.
Instead, it's like, well, this is not my comic book. And it's like, that's what I struggle with. But
No, I hear you. That
Yeah.
I can't take that head in the sand approach, right? If
Yeah.
anything, there is and you guys have gotten touched on this in previous episodes. A little shame at first. Lindelof said it recently
Yes.
in the podcast. It's like, oh, I didn't know about this.
Right.
But then the show is all about education, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like he was doing a great job in saying, here's what I know, and also assembling a writer's room that can do justice to it.
right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And that's one thing that I really respect about Lindelof in this experience. I've been doing this podcast and then listening to the official HBO podcast.
Yes.
I get to know more about him. And one thing that's I really feel that a writer brings to the table is the vulnerability. They're bringing themselves.
Yeah.
And they're like, for example, we talk about Lost, and he mentioned that he was working through some serious daddy issues.
Yeah. He was going through.
And I was
some
like,
stuff.
and when you look at the characters, all the characters on the show had, like Jack always had this issue with his dad, or just all this kind of stuff. So, but his playing with time and having, sorry, I had a thought about time that I want to say, but like in terms of the diversity in the writers' room, and Lindelof making statements about, well, hey, I can't take credit for all of this. And also, I wanted to create an environment where, I'm a white guy and I'm going to speak from privilege, and there's going to be some things that I write or say that might not translate well. It's not like he's being malicious, but he's like, I need to bounce these ideas off of writers. And those writers go, no, this is not what's happening in our country. This is what's happening. Or, yeah, I know you see it that way, but this is how maybe a person of color would see it. Or here's my perspective. So the fact that he's open to all of those things, I really have a lot of respect for him. And I think it's admirable. And, I hope there's a lot of, and I'm sure there's tons of writers that are doing the same thing, but
Sure.
it's pretty obvious with this show what he's doing. So
Yeah, a wise man knows when he doesn't have, all the answers. And you want to surround yourself. I mean, that's what good leadership is. You surround yourself with those that can advise you properly.
Interesting.
And I really, well,
yeah. Sorry.
and the foolish person does not. But
Right.
but it say all that to say, man, it's like that's what you want to do. And it's funny until I heard him talk about that. In your mind, you just forget that there's a writer's room. At least I did. I'm thinking Lindelof is just in there. This is all me. And,
Right.
you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And because of the things that he's done. And like you said, it would be easy for him to say, well, look at my resume. This is what I say. But like you said, respecting the expertise of others is a trait that all leaders should possess. I mean, because you don't know everything. And that's why you bring in people that do lift you up in areas and where you're not as strong. So yeah, I appreciate that. And when he mentioned that, Cord, what was the guy's name?
Cord Jefferson.
Cord Jefferson.
He's a guy that wrote the episode.
Right.
Yes.
And an episode. An episode indeed.
Yes.
We talk often about the black and white themes in Watchmen, even from the beginning where Regina King is telling her son about, the world isn't all colorful and unicorns and
Rainbows.
rainbows. It's black and white. And then you can go all the way back to Rorschach with, the black and white mask. And it's either this or this. There's no middle ground.
Panda bears.
Yeah,
Right.
Panda Bear, just all that stuff. And so this episode just so happens to be black and white. And I mean, even the little subtleties, right? When we go back into memories, and Reeves is they're showing Reeves / Angela Abar tripping on that stuff.
Nostalgia.
Getting his badge or whatever. And they're awarding the new cadets their badges, and you get an idea of how it must have been. The black cop did not get badged by the white cop. They waited until,
And I felt tension with that scene. I was like, okay, I know I'm watching The Watchmen. Maybe this will go differently.
No.
And then when they passed him, I was like, oh,
yeah,
man.
that's what you expected.
Yeah.
But it gave them an opportunity to introduce what we found out was a legit history lesson.
Yes.
In one Samuel Battle, the first NYPD black police cop,
Yes.
black police officer.
Right.
Amazing. The dude was huge, like 6'3", 280 something. The dude, and it was funny when you go back and look at it. He was that big. He's a big guy.
So the guy that badged
Yeah.
Will Reeves was Samuel Battle.
Based on
That's
the real
amazing.
man.
That's
It's on a real
that's
guy.
cool.
But the point I was making, like the whole black and white thing was cool. And then when he shook his hand, the Abar had, I think he had the glove on, and it was stark
Yes.
white.
Right.
But of course, Battle's hand is black.
Right.
And it's
Oh,
just
I didn't- oh,
they
that's
just
right.
they just
Nice
do
catch.
all
Right.
that little stuff, man.
Yes.
And it's like when they show it, it's like they made sure you saw the hands before, of course, we told them about the Cyclops, and then there's that thing. But I mean, it's just this episode, man. I don't know. I don't know where to begin. I guess anger is the proper place to start, right? Because everybody has an origin story.
Yes.
People just don't do stuff. There has to be a catalyst, and then part of the challenge of writing is coming up with a convincing catalyst, right? Don't be stupid, right? Be thoughtful about it,
Right.
And hence, Cord Jefferson.
Yes.
I don't know what to say. We were talking about it before. This man took a story about a mysterious hooded justice character who at the end of the original comic, no one knew who he was. He just disappeared in 55. Like nobody, he's never taken his hood off. Everybody you just let it go. And like you were saying, Michael, it was all tied up. And we were cool with that. Like,
Yeah.
he's gone, whatever.
Yeah.
Minutemen is a thing of the past. We good with not knowing who he is. And this guy was dared enough to say, let's bring him on back out. Let's bring him back out. And he had to be involved with it because you don't just write that episode without all the other stuff leading up to, right? They said at the beginning, this is going to be our hood of justice. We're going to start at the beginning, and then, this is going to be the plot, right? This is where this all comes from. And it was just genius, man, to be able to take somebody else's work, like you said, his toys, and then just modify them. And to the point where I was telling Rose before we got here a little while ago, it almost feels as if this whole story was written in the 80s and they just shelved it and just brought it out. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we found it. You know, like it was just sitting there and it was all doggy-eared and they just brought it to the writer's table. Let's just do this. We found Alan Moore's work. You know what I mean?
Right.
Of course, Alan Moore probably wouldn't appreciate that, you know,
Right.
because I don't think he wants anything to do with
He does not.
It's brilliant. I don't know
Yes.
what else to say.
Yeah.
And we can go scene by
Well-
scene if we want, but I think we should probably hit on some of the most
Right.
One,
telling important scenes.
to your point, the Minutemen, right?
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing with American, was it Hero Story?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
story within the story?
Yeah.
In this case, was actually poking fun at what we knew of Hooded Justice from the comic.
Right.
Right.
They think he's a German strongman.
Right.
Right. They think that he was engaged in
sympathizer.
homosexual activities
Right.
with Dr. Metropolis. No, sorry,
Captain
Metropolis.
Thank you.
Right.
So, and the whole idea of his costume even being a fetish, all of that was all we knew. That was
Yeah,
it.
that was it.
And then,
Just
from what
hella-
I understand, Lindelof came to the table. He said, "If we're going to do this, and right, because there were several occasions where he turned down working on Watchmen."
Yes.
And so his first thing he came to was Hooded Justice is black, and I think he got that ball rolling. And then he turned to his room and he said, "Why?"
Right.
Man, that's
Or like, why would he become Hooded Justice? I should say.
Yeah.
And the one thing that they had to deal with, there's literally like one panel where you actually see his white
Yes.
Right.
the
You're
skin
right.
through the eye
Right.
holes. That's
Right.
the only one.
right.
Guys, I know I'm jumping ahead, but the image of
Go
him
ahead.
applying that makeup,
Yes.
Genius. It was genius.
mask under a mask, and it's
Right.
it's the opposite of Angela.
Right.
Yes.
It was just brilliant.
Oh,
Black
that
and
image-
white. Black and white.
When you can tell a
Again.
story in one image, right? Like take away everything else from the episode, and that alone, hang that on a wall, and that's gonna stand.
Yep.
That's art.
Yep. It was amazing, man. Like the wife was just like, look, if you're gonna, no one will accept justice from you. We got to do it this way. And he kept those gloves on, and he kept the noose on and painted his eyes white and never said anything hardly. And it was just, man, it was genius. Mm-hmm. It was genius.
Yeah. The one thing that hit me the hardest was the playing with time. And what I mean by that is like even down to nostalgia, right? Like nostalgia in the graphic novel was a perfume.
Yes.
A perfume that Vite Industries
created,
created, right? Well, I guess that went away, and I guess when Lady True took over Vite or bought Vite
bought Vite,
Enterprises, she rebranded Nostalgia, where they made these pills where they would extract people's memories,
Yes.
and put them in pill form, and of course that got banned,
Yeah.
and abused. But the thing that I like about the playing with time is even the word nostalgia, right?
Yeah, right.
So like nostalgia is like, you know, having a fondness of the past
Yes.
and that kind of thing. And dare I say, like when that the catchphrase "Let's make America great again,"
Yes.
and like when I first heard it, I mean I got spooked. And I talked to people about it, and they were like, "Well, why? You know, what's wrong with it?" And it's like,
It's not been that
I mean,
great for us.
think about this. Like, if somebody created a time machine and said,
Right.
"Hey guys, we're giving free rides for you to go back in the past,"
Hard pass.
right?
Yes.
Hard pass on that. How far are you talking? Yesterday? Maybe.
Right.
Payday last week.
Yeah.
It's as
last
far as
time
I'm
last time I remembered, my dad couldn't, buy ice cream,
Right.
or eat ice cream, with others. He had
Right.
to eat in a certain part of the restaurant or not, or behind the restaurant. I mean, what?
Yeah.
So, like-
don't want to go back to that.
Yeah. So when I hear "Make America Great Again,"
Yes.
that again, the power of words and
Yeah.
the power of
Yeah,
time
yeah,
is
yeah.
like, okay, what are you telling me as an African American person? America hasn't been great for people like me.
Right.
I'm not trashing America. I love America. I love the freedoms that it provides.
Yes.
Wouldn't live anywhere else.
Correct. But I'm not going back.
No. Not at all.
We have civil rights leaders that had to fight and bleed and die for rights to vote.
That's right.
So why would I go back to that
go back
time?
to that.
So the fact that, and we've talked on the podcast about the generational trauma. The fact that Angela literally
Went back.
physically
amazing.
takes these pills that sends her back in time is just nuts to me. The science,
Right.
and the layers behind that. It's like, okay, well, it's embedded in her DNA, of course, because she came from Will Reeves, who experienced that, and we talk about the generational trauma that
Yes.
gets. Like there's science behind it. It's somehow like the guy said in the Looking Glass episode.
Generational.
About
My
the Squid
mom,
Invasion.
my mom was a survivor.
Inherited trauma.
Yeah, I inherited her pain. When my parents talk about the past, I inherited their pain. So like this episode, I connected with 1,000%. And I just loved how they played with time. I loved how Angela is literally experiencing what he experiences.
Everything.
And I think it's going to pay off in the end as well, because the one thing I thought about too was when we first saw Angela, yeah, we were like, oh yeah,
She's
go
nice,
get him.
she's dope.
But it's like she's breaking the law. Like
Oh,
she's
badly.
not.
They're
yeah.
all breaking the law.
Yeah, I mean, she just
All
busted
the
up in
police.
this guy and just puts him in the trunk. Like,
Right. Yeah.
that was wrong.
Right. That's
So
no
to
due
s-
process.
To see her go through Hooded Justice's journey.
Because he was trying to actually be a lawful person.
Correct.
Until he realized this ain't working.
Right. And Angela has some anger that she
Oh, my gosh,
some
she's angry all
unresolved
the time.
anger.
Yes.
And I'm curious, like, to see her origin story.
I'm with you.
You know,
Because we don't know,
No, we don't.
right?
right?
Can I throw something out there too?
Yes.
This is a little bit of an aside.
Okay,
Origin stories for superheroes, right?
right,
The big three superheroes, they're all about their trauma.
right.
And here's a point that just dawned on me. I could be stealing this from someone, so you tell me if I am. But they are also caught in the state of arrested development. So Superman is a baby.
Right.
He is innocent, right? But think about him. What do we love about Superman? He's an innocent. He is the best of us, partly because when he experienced his trauma, he was a baby.
Right.
The planet blew up and he was sent away. But Batman was a child. So in some ways, Hooded Justice's story is set up first like a Superman.
Correct.
Yes.
But he's a boy.
Right.
So he has that trauma of powerlessness.
Witnessing, yeah. Yeah.
I can't do anything. And then what is the first thing he wants to just use
I'm
his
just
fist?
going to do it. Yep.
Right? So the idea of Batman and Hooded Justice, I think, are very similar because their world was taken away at a point when they had just enough agency to not do anything about it.
Right.
Right? And then on the flip side, you got a Spider-Man who his trauma was he was a teenager and could have done something, chose not to. Right? And so what is he driven by? Guilt.
Right.
So, and I feel like that's why these three heroes have lasted so many versions, so many years, right? And I think these place in Hooded Justice right within that. It's so smart,
Right.
That and like I think you said earlier too, the idea that you can't have a hero without the crisis, like to really make somebody work through something,
Right.
And so, but we don't yet know. That's what we're missing. We don't know what Angela's personal story was,
Right. And then there lies a weakness, like with Batman, the emotional trauma of his parents being killed. Whenever that's his weakness.
Right.
Yes.
That crime alley. You can't.
With Hooded Justice, his weakness is his anger.
Absolutely.
And the layers to that is amazing too. It's like like I'm watching it going, is this justified? Question mark.
Right.
Because it's like
When you look at the magnitude of injustice perpetrated against a man, you almost feel like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but his wife, or did we confirm that was his wife? Or
This is-
okay.
yeah.
I didn't know. They never really said husband or wife, but yeah, wife. Anyway,
Right.
they're having a conversation in the restaurant or whatever, and she's like, "Man,
You're an angry man.
They just gave you a gun and a stick. What you gonna do? Because you're angry. I know you are. Are you gonna be on the level?" And he's
Stop
in
right there.
denial.
Stop right there. That's independent of race. Think about
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
How many people have a badge and a
And
gun
stick
right
and-
now
right.
as we speak?
And based on whatever they went through, they're going to use the badge and the stick and the gun to I guess work out any issues they've had.
Right.
Whether you got beat up in school and now you're gonna just, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever the reasoning is, like
Correct.
you said, it is completely irrespective of what is of race. It doesn't matter. You know, it could be whatever the reason is. But in his case, it was just so amplified because
Right.
a lot of that violence was directly a result of him being a black man, right, or a black person.
Right.
Whether, you know, witnessing his, you know, destruction of his home and
Yes.
family and all of that, and then, you know, he's thinking he's, you know, breaking ground, following in the footsteps of his hero, you know, Lieutenant Battle,
Right.
and he thinking, okay, this is progress, and then, you know, he makes or attempts to make a legitimate arrest for a blatant crime.
Right.
They kind of just smile in his face and, yeah, we got him, and then he learns they don't really care, you know. So it's a bunch of different things,
And that
but it's
echoes our
all
society now.
racially
Like, I mean,
yeah.
how many times have we just gone, yeah, this guy got off.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
yeah.
like,
It's
yeah.
a Tuesday.
Well,
You know?
you were talking about, right, is it okay? Right? And we know the answer is no.
No.
Correct.
But look at this, right? Both police forces, the one in Reeves' time, right, no due process. The one in Abar's time, no due process.
Right.
So you have a case where those having to uphold the law are not. They're not
Right.
following the rules. Reeves wants to so badly, right? Because basically the idea is he's assimilating. He's like, I'm going to be part of the power structure now.
Right.
And he tries, and he gets ignored, right? And then not only this, though, those cops were wearing hoods. Those cops were wearing masks, right? Cyclops.
Right.
So that's where it comes in, and the layers keep going because those guys, even though they controlled the levers of power, they still had to put on masks to just consolidate their power, to go behind the scenes,
Right.
and do
right?
the ancillary,
And do the
was
ancillary.
more important to them than even upholding the law.
Exactly. And
Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, though, I mean, the layers of just writing on this thing, too, right? So Cyclops as a name, and then their symbol was the OK symbol on their head.
Yeah.
So we're talking, right? Recently, the OK symbol has been co-opted by white power,
right.
Right.
But then it's also, the Cyclops is the one-eyed squid,
Yes.
right? So the layers and layers,
Yeah.
one eye, Cyclops. And then I would say, you know, beyond that, you have the idea that you're making a link between 7th Cavalry, the Squid Invasion, and what you guys had talked about several times. What amount of evil can you do in the name of good at some
Be
point? Then you
acceptable.
basically are
Right.
creating more evil.
Right. Take it a step further with the Cyclops, man. One eye, that just suggests a myopic worldview.
Yes.
Like, you don't see anything, you know what I'm saying? You don't have your level of depth and understanding from
Right.
a you know,
Single
multifaceted-
vision.
Right. You just you see one thing. Nothing else matters. And to them, only thing matters is maintaining a level of power.
Speaking of seeing, the other concept that struck me the most about this episode was the effects of media
Yes.
on culture. So if you go back to the first episode, Will is watching
Bass
His
Reeves.
Bass
hero.
Reeves.
His hero.
And granted, I really think Will got the Reeves name from that. Like, there's no relation.
Really?
Right.
Maybe, did he not even know what his name was? Probably
Right.
because
Interesting.
take care of this
Right.
boy, right? Or
Right.
that's all he was at that point.
So he just took the name Reeves.
He just took the name
I was
Reeves.
going to ask, was he related to the guy? on the
Right.
thing?
Right.
no,
Like, was he watching his? Oh man!
Right. So
So he just
but I'm bringing up Bass Reeves because this was like on this podcast, we talk about representation and we, I know for me personally, when we started getting into the podcast, I didn't realize how starved I was for representation, even though I love Superman and I love Batman, love them to this day. But there was that question like, wait a minute, I'm not being represented. That's why Black Panther was so
huge. Yeah.
huge and such a cultural force within the the entertainment industry. But getting back to Watchmen, Will was exposed to a positive reinforcing
Image.
image
Yes.
that represented him. he wanted to be the sheriff of Oklahoma. The sheriff of Oklahoma, they were like, well, go kill. People are coming out of church going, go kill this guy.
Hang him up, string him up.
String him up.
String him up.
We're not doing that,
We're not,
guys.
that's not what we do.
So you get the purest example of morality right there, right?
Model.
And this guy is like, okay, this guy's my hero, and my parents got killed, and I still want to do good, and I still want to make a difference. He starts out innocent.
That's how it typically works.
You know? So I'll say that, and we'll dive into that some more. But like, and then also media in terms of the images that are fed to the culture. You know, people of color are violent. You know, the depictions. You watch all these, procedural shows, and here we go. You know, here's the typical, New York black teenager again that has killed somebody.
Right.
You know, it's like that just gets fed, and it's repetitive over and over again.
It's crazy.
Like,
now that you mention that, it's almost like that might have been a theme of the show that kind of, I won't say went under the radar, but I don't think it was as focused on as I think it should be.
Right.
Because when we talked about the whole mind control strobe light thing,
Right.
correct. It goes both ways.
Yeah, because
people make their perceptions about other cultures by what they see on TV.
but that's happening now. Like
Facebook.
Right.
like Russia's doing it. You know,
the radio. I mean, the record executives are doing it. They get like the stuff that we hear on the radio in the black community. Right?
correct.
A lot of that's poison, man.
It is.
And when I saw the strobe light playing or whatever, and they were in there killing themselves, man, I went immediately to this garbage that's on the radio now. You know, so the stuff that they put out here and the stuff that they glorify, and we eating it up and we loving it, and it's killing us one way or another. Whether it be,
But it has a catchy beat, though.
but just like you want to go to the movies,
Right.
It's entertainment, but then
Right.
but there needs to be a draw, right?
Right.
You know, whatever it is that they're going to see, they're interested in, but don't realize that they're getting something that they don't want. And it's just, I mean, I don't know if my man Cord hit him with that.
Right.
It was like, look, this is very symbolic of our culture anyway, whether it be that horrible reality TV, whether it's, this whack hip hop that's out here with no talent and telling you to rob and kill and whatever. The stuff they saying on the radio, man, is just amazing. But our children and sometimes, unfortunately, some of our adults are eating it up.
Right.
And it's killing us one way or another. And so, you say, man, I think the imagery is huge. It can be whatever you're representing is very influential, especially if you know the means by which to influence the target audience.
Right.
And that I don't think that gets
And
talked about enough.
the chilling part, in our society too, is there's cultural appropriation. Like there's white people that love hip hop and love the music that, and I don't want to we don't need to paint hip hop, or it can be any kind of music.
Right.
It can be R&B music.
Right.
R&B music
I
has
just
some
take umbrage to the hip hop degradation. That's all. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, no, all hip hop is not bad.
No.
There's levels to it.
Yes,
Anyway.
but stuff they play on the radio is terrible.
But I was watching this TED Talk where the guy was he was talking about that. He said, white culture will appropriate it and they love it just as much as black folks do. And then when when the two cultures come together, it's like the white person turns that down, and they have the ability to turn it down. It doesn't affect them like it affects.
That's what I'm saying. Understanding your target audience.
Correct.
That's what I was saying. It's like, different things have different effects on different groups.
Right.
And they know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Just like they knew what they were doing in the theater.
Right.
You don't like each other. You hate each other. Kill,
Master
kill,
weapon.
kill. Right.
Right.
Do you guys ever hear about Superman smashes the KKK?
Yes. I have the book. They just put out a book.
Yes.
I got to read that book.
Yes.
It seems a little pricey, but I have to go get it. But you know the real story behind it, right? Like, if this is for real. you're totally on point that in this case, right, the Cyclops master weapon was the media. In this case, right, when the KKK was becoming a problem and the presence was growing, I honestly can't remember who had the initiative, but somebody had the idea of making the KKK the villain on a Superman radio show. Mm-hmm. And so this was a regularly running serialized show, every household, gather around the radio type scenario. Mm-hmm. And I believe not only did they feature the KKK as the villain, but they made them seem bumbling. They made them seem, cruel and stupid, and created an image about them. But that's getting into households with fathers who were members. And so the story goes that membership in the Klan declined because this mass entertainment infiltrated households where you had little boys playing with their Superman or pretending to be Superman. And who are they fighting? Essentially their dad. So, I mean, this is an example, right? Like, and I'm completely with you. This more and more I'm realizing the show is talking about the stories we tell ourselves. Every episode is titled after some sort of either art or literature or text that the characters are consuming.
Right.
Right. So this episode is this extraordinary being,
right,
which was what Hooded Justice was referred to in the first article reporting about him.
Right.
So in this case, I just feel like, okay, so that's amazing. We have a show that people want to put their head in the sand about because it's too uncomfortable to watch.
Right.
And it's mirroring not too dissimilarly to a Superman situation from, I think, the 30s or 40s, radio show that actually had an impact on the world because those young people listening realized the core of the message. Not unlike Will Reeves watching, Bass on the screen.
Right.
So I don't know. I just think it's powerful.
Yes.
No, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. It's like you wonder are they thinking all this out, or are they just kind of, I want to give the writers credit, right? But it's so genius.
The answer is yes. So when I listen to when I listen to the podcast,
brilliant.
when I listen to the podcast, Lindelof says, he's like, there is a super fine balance. He's interjecting all these issues that we're talking about right now, but then mixing them with the sci-fi. If the sci-fi gets really silly, we can lose the message of all the social stuff that we're talking about, or it gets, or it just gets laughed at and nobody talks about it again.
Right.
So he's like, I have to make sure that it's a balance. Like, okay, yeah, we're scratching the Watchmen, the comic
itch, yes.
Yeah, but the DNA of what Watchmen is, like, I mean, that can be argued. Well, it's pretty obvious. The DNA of Watchmen is not the geeky stuff.
No.
It's the stuff that we're talking about now.
It's mixing the peas with the peaches.
Right.
Eat that.
Yeah, take this medicine.
Take it.
Right.
Medicine.
Well, and to your point earlier, Wally, this script basically went and sidestepped some of what Moore did not address. So now we're saying Hooded Justice, right? He's the first. So, and also funny enough, right? You have an African-American man who's starting a movement in America, essentially popular culture.
Yes.
Created by a black man.
Right.
Like popular music, right? Like dance.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden he's starting this thing. And it was, in terms of this storytelling now, here's where I love this show now. I want to believe now, if we go back to read Watchmen, this is always the case.
Yeah, right. Because there's nothing saying that it wasn't. Like, he even mentioned the problem they had was, like, you mentioned the eyes.
Yes.
That was a problem. But the shtick about him being a Nazi sympathizer, they had to work that. So they were like, okay, this is how we'll do it. Well, he's hiding, and not only does he have to mask his face, but when he's speaking, he's got to play the part.
Yes.
So he's got to even act like, yeah, I'm down with the Nazis. He's got to say it. And that was even a guy's like, it's like,
to take it a step
further. Ruse. I'm just saying what I need to say to stay alive.
Well, to take it a step further, remember the pamphlet that came down and his father received it and it got passed down to him?
Yes, it's just like, there it is.
That's his Kryptonian crystal right there. So, and think about it. Like, man, this show is crazy. Like,
I'm telling you.
Even in his time, they had the newsstand in the world. So like he's walking his beat and
Right.
he's passing the newsstand.
Yeah.
The guy is German. The news.
Yeah.
He's looking at the paper that had a thing about Nazi Germany,
Right.
and he locked onto it because Germany told him, "Come to us.
Come to us.
What are you doing here? Like
they don't love you.
They don't love you," and he's struggling with that. So,
Yes.
is he a Nazi sympathizer? or I mean, the tie to Germany, not necessarily Nazi
right.
Hitler,
Right.
But like Germany.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it all works. It's like even the stuff that you would think that would derail the whole black hood and justice theory just actually works better. It's just
does.
crazy. It's crazy.
But if you okay, so parallel America, right?
Mm-hmm.
So home of the free and the brave, but we still have racism in our country.
Mm-hmm.
You have Germany that was, like before, Hitler came into power, like I guess it was okay. But then when the Nazi party got in there, it was like that was a scar on their history.
Right.
And dare I say that now, like, history shows that Germany is like saying like this was a scar in our history, and we're
let's
not
move on
going
from that.
and
We're not going back to that.
We're going to move on, but we're not going to forget, and we're going to honor the people that got scarred by this.
Right.
And we're going to have reminders to never go back,
Never forget.
never forget, never make it great again. That's what's scary. See, like the power of words and suggestion and the repetitiveness. I didn't say this. I didn't say this. You see the rhythm, like when politicians get up there and they repeat it over and over again, and you're just going, okay, I guess he didn't say it. Like that was so heavy to me about this, like what was going on in the show on so many levels, and we're not even scraping the surface about everything.
Nothing else matters.
Right.
I mean, the episode is not. I mean, granted, yes, there was some good fighting. Some of the best fighting I believe I've seen. Because when Hooded Justice went in, that little clan thing, that was some of the dude. That might have been like so far on this show the best fighting sequence because that dude was angry and he was throwing chairs and man, dude, he was roughing them dudes up.
So let's back up.
But you understood every punch he threw and every kick he threw. So it was just crazy.
Let's back up. So when I first got introduced to Hooded Justice, like in the graphic novel, and then in the movie, there was a part of me that was like, man, something's off, like really off. Like, why is he wearing a Klan hood and a noose?
Yes.
Like this doesn't add up to me, and that always stuck.
What did you think it was? Because I had the same question.
Was it
Like an executioner? Like
a lot of
That
people,
was
a lot of people say that.
Well, I had to do research, and people were saying that, but it was like for me,
yes.
from my perspective, it looked like a Klan hood and a noose. And then when he got paid off in the show, I was like, oh my gosh, what? Like, who's reading my mind here? Like, how did?
That's great.
Wait a minute, how did this?
Yeah, because it was a news. Whenever they show those old Minutemen pictures, it was clearly a news. I mean, they
And that's the layer of it. It was in your face, and I was like it was that nobody talked about it. It was like, but this dude is wearing a hood and a noose. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah,
like,
see,
what are we doing here?
off what I thought it was, and I mentioned it in like an earlier Watchmen podcast that we did. It's like, and I imagine you're a very good white man. I don't know you, but I believe you are. But I know some very good
one of the
white
good
men.
ones.
Yes. Now, I can imagine being someone that doesn't harbor these feelings of hate, but wish to see injustice beaten, defeated.
Yes.
Destroyed.
Destroyed. Right. But they may or may be afraid of sacrificing their situation or whatever it is. They don't want to disrupt the apple cart.
Yep, right.
But they really don't like this. So I'm gonna put a hood on, and I'm gonna go out here and put in this work that needs to be done. But I don't want to be alienated from my peers, from my family, from my friends, from those whose opinions I value, and those who value me. Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. That's what that symbolized. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like because like Jason was here.
Right.
My boss that we had on a couple of episodes ago. He's that guy. Like, he's a really good dude. And but he's not afraid either, though. He's not afraid to go out and express the how he feels about injustice and things like that. But you can imagine that there might be some that are literally afraid of what their peers would say if they indeed stood up for those who weren't in their community.
So let me make sure. So when you saw Hooded Justice depicted, you thought he was that guy.
I thought he was
a white guy.
I thought he was a white guy
that just didn't like injustice. Right.
Didn't want to sacrifice, the privilege or whatever else that came with being white.
But the way and
by shutting down Klansmen and beating up people.
Well, and what makes sense is the brutality that he used. It had to be personal.
Yes.
Right.
It's like a murderer.
But I thought it was just frustration from not being able to, not unable to understand why others don't feel the way I feel about this, that they think this is okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go out here and I'm going to just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so frustrated that this is allowed, that this is, that black people are looked at as less than human and they're treated a certain way. But we cool with it.
Well, the best thing you could say, right, is that if he was a white guy, the symbol is miscarriage of justice. Because then basically the implication is still that he survived a hanging.
Right.
So that might mean, like, I am frustrated because the system failed me and I've survived, right? So then all of a sudden he's superhuman.
Right.
Right? But I'll tell you what, you just touched on something that I think has been really weighing on me. I think one of the most kind of salient indictments in this show is when it rains squid. And some people just treat it like it's an afternoon shower.
Yeah.
Right.
And by that, I mean, like you're saying, what does it take to wake somebody up? Right. So for our guy Wade, right, this is his trauma.
Right.
His trauma. And now he didn't even experience the psychic blast. He's even carrying the trauma of his sexual humiliation all these years. But I think it was kind of intimated in the group, or somebody else had said it. It's like, how do some people treat this like a minor?
Well,
It was the plant.
The plant said that. That's
yeah.
right. You're right. Mm-hmm. But like, imagine that an alien incursion occurs in this world. You know, the world that we're watching.
Right.
And some people basically have to go about their everyday, right? And I think what is hard when you're watching the show, and as a white person, is that you can go back to your comfort. Basically say, like, I don't have to take this full message. I could just watch it as
I can watch it.
And you can also pretend, like, okay, before when you were talking roles about our history, is it Ruby Bridges in the integration of the schools, right? Mm-hmm. When a couple years ago, celebrating her birthday, right, I look and I realize I thought she was 100. It's like, she's not 100. And then I look and I want to find out the age, right? And you get that image of the Rockwell painting of her, right? And I look at some of the news reporting. She was literally in grade school the same time as my mother, right? And so for me, right, as a white person, part of the work is letting that sink in, right? That I don't experience that same generational trauma, but to know that it is as present. Okay, so here again, symbolically, I love that within the memories that Angela's experiencing, Will's memories are in color. They are present for him.
Right.
They are real.
When they showed the police car, like, and then you saw the dragon, I was like, oh man, like it was just,
dude,
because he remember he's going. It was that fear, like the adrenaline
started to happen as soon as
It was like he was hallucinating it really happening in front of him. It was present.
Right.
So I guess what I'm getting at is that I feel like another layer of this, and part of where I think it's interesting that the show itself has been, met with some pushback, is that, if you have the freedom, if you have the privilege, you can retreat to your comfort. You don't have to pay attention. And so I hear your point, like, could Hooded Justice have been a man who was just fed up with injustice? But basically, I think the writer's room said, who would put on a mask and is angry enough to do this?
Right. No, their vision is better than mine. That's why I'm not in the writer's room. But that's what I thought, because I'm going off the book, right? I'm this white guy.
And so that's why it was a great
what can
surprise.
I do?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Paint
his eyes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sense of the book. Like, and then they show you American hero story. They setting you up for failure.
Absolutely.
He's a
Let's
show
talk about
I enjoy so much.
Even and talking
is great.
And talking about, well, the show is great.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
It's so ridiculous.
Right. But like what Petey said, it was utter. He's like,
it's utter garbage.
Right.
Yeah.
But people are soaking it in
Yes,
like it's
because,
fact.
because they're putting it out there. And what's sad is they're telling you at the start of the show, this ain't real. This is some mess. Don't show this to your children. It has this, and this, and this.
Enjoy.
Right. But they're in the police station looking at it.
But like what
They're
Van
watching
said,
it
it's
at work.
federally mandated. So it's appointment viewing.
Yes. You know,
Unless Blake come through, turn that off. We don't do that here.
but you know what? Even good old Petey, he got it wrong. He
Right.
was surprised by Hooded Justice's identity.
Yeah, throw him off. It's like, oh,
And he's the scholar.
right.
Right. Because of depictions.
Yeah. That Petey, boy.
Right.
It was good this week.
And
boy.
Lindelof said
It
something
was
like,
good this week.
I know this is gonna make people mad, but like Lindelof was talking about like the appropriation. He was talking about like Elvis. It was like,
Yes.
you know, ain't nothing but a hound dog.
yes.
It's like that was written by
Some
what do you say?
Jews and performed by a black woman. It's something crazy.
Yeah.
And then Elvis came along. And
It was just so ironic.
He's the vessel.
Jews and blacks. Like what? I mean,
That's America.
what? I'll take that. I'm the king now.
Right.
Like what? Crazy.
Yeah.
I think there's some debate about this, but even like Siegel and Schuster writing the Superman story,
Right.
which is almost like the Moses story.
Correct.
Right here they are as immigrants, Jewish immigrants, at a time when they need power.
Correct.
And so what's interesting in the Watchmen universe, I read this that the first Night Owl was literally inspired by that Superman comic, like to join. But I mean, as far as we know now, the real start.
Well, I thought the first Night Owl was inspired by Hooded Justice. Hooded Justice is the one that
It wasn't Captain Metropolis?
No.
Okay.
So like, and I watched Hooded. I watched Under the Hood.
Oh, you did? Okay.
the movie.
Okay.
So when he was interviewing, he was
Gotcha.
saying that he was inspired
Okay.
by Hooded, and they showed this like archival footage of Hooded Justice. And again, the depiction is white guy.
He's white.
Like,
He is.
Yeah, I was like, but he's white. You know, it's
Gotcha.
like, you know,
But both communities speaking into the same
correct.
issue, need
Yes.
need for a hero.
Right. The fact that we get an origin story of a black superhero that's not based in sci-fi was just as jarring to me. He gets lynched.
Oh, that scene.
Yeah.
He's walking home. He's walking home, and like he nearly got lynched. I can't even imagine. Like his folks got killed
Yes.
due to this. He almost gets killed due to this, and he's walking around with the news.
Still got it on.
He still has it on. There are white people in danger.
But it wasn't even about that, though.
It wasn't even. Yeah, he
about
had
that.
so much rage.
I
He was
just
like,
feel-
I
this
need
is
to.
just if I can beat somebody
I
up,
can.
Ring, just
I can
fine.
unleash this.
Yep.
But it's almost like the justification. I'm going to put it to good use.
Yeah.
What was it? Dexter. You guys ever watch Dexter?
Yeah, the serial killer.
But
yeah.
but that idea that his dad channeled his psychopathology into killing other killers, right? So it does feel like this sort of thing
Yeah,
of like
that's okay.
using your dark side for good.
Right.
But how long does that last?
Right. What they call that chaotic good in the RPG world.
Right. But, and then June leaves.
alignment.
Your wife and kid are going to leave.
Yeah.
Oh man, that scene where he sees his son putting on the makeup.
Put it on. We're gonna find out who that. I mean, where he's at in the lineage at some point. I hope they. I know
that's
that's
Marcus.
Angela. Yeah, I know, but that's like Angela. But she don't. They don't really talk about him.
I was
much.
confused by that too.
Like, where is he now?
Well,
Where is who?
The
boy?
Angela's dad. That's Angela's dad, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
So where is he? All we know about is granddad, right? Like we don't really talk about
Well, I think
her dad at all.
I think we're gonna find out next
That's
episode.
what I want to
That-
find out.
Because they're gonna go to Vietnam.
yes.
Okay.
Did you guys catch that one flash that was not her grandfather's memory? It wasn't Will's memory. It was hers.
Which one? Did I miss?
This is one of the.
okay.
Okay, this show. This is one of those. You pause
Okay.
it. Okay, I wrote it down. It says, "She really does look like you. I'm going to take you home now, honey."
Oh yeah, that was
that
I
was
forgot about-
June, So that was basically Angela as a baby seeing her grandmother for the first time.
Yes, I remember that scene.
That gave me chills.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that it looks like based on...
Because that was in color, that one.
was in color. Mm-hmm. And based on next episode previews, it looks like June has more story to tell.
Right.
Which I'm grateful for, because sometimes you get that, right? You get the one line. You get it's not just Will's story, it's June's story. Now, the fact that Will saved June as a baby, I totally forgot about that baby. I didn't think she was going to show up again.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That was dope. Because I was wondering, who is the baby? And then there you go. They answered that question right quick.
What's even crazy, June was a reporter.
Oh, that was too much.
I mean, it's like it's the Superman and Batman stuff that was just getting teased all through the show. It's
Absolutely.
like he was getting not inspired. Not on that, but you know, like that's Lois to Clark. You
Absolutely.
know,
Man.
yeah.
But yeah, I really think what's great is that we're asking the questions that they want us to ask, which is, how does Angela now fit into this?
Right.
And remember, Will said, I can't just tell her. She has to know. She has to
Right,
experience it.
right.
I don't think he assumed she would take the nostalgia.
Yeah, he thought maybe we would do this, there'd be a more methodical and safe approach.
Yeah.
Not ingesting the entire bottle of, that wasn't the plan, I don't think. Because
I think
it's
so.
dangerous. Well, it's documented. If you go out to the Peteypedia,
I know, but I think
death is a
But-
possibility, and that doesn't serve anybody.
But it was almost as if Will knew that she was going to take him.
not like that.
Because Lady True was like, "Hey, this is a bit much. Do you really think you
Right.
need to?"
Yeah.
And she was like, "That's a bit aggressive." And he was like,
Well, it is her blend. Maybe she kind of knew how to extract just
Right.
enough to not kill her. It's her
Right.
stuff. I mean, it's her stuff.
"Right,
I appreciated that Lori seemed to genuinely care about her. I don't know why that mattered to me. I think it's partly because Lori is so caked in her cynicism that I needed to see a little humanity coming through there.
Yes.
And we got a little bit of it in her, her laughing at the end of the episode, the Space Junk episode.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There was a degree there which maybe it's
Right.
just also the audience member in me wants to see some good. Some people like looking out for each other.
right." Can
Go ahead, man.
we talk about the?
Man, are you going there? Cause,
Yeah, I'm going there.
I was waiting for my end. No, no pun intended.
Well, since you said it, since you lobbed it up, since we're in the scene, so Captain Metropolis
Yeah, man.
and Will Reeves. Let's
All
talk
right,
about him.
okay. Look, can we start from the beginning? How in the world? I guess he explained how he knew
How he knew
he
that
was
he was
hooded
gay,
justice.
But not,
right.
Well, we'll get to the gay.
Okay.
But
or bisexual.
yeah,
Right.
because apparently he's not grossed out by women. So that
Right.
was a thing too.
Right.
But I think more so than the act. Okay, that whatever. That's fine. But I think the betrayal there, man, is just another layer of anger to add. Right, like you got.
It was a breaking point, I think,
Exactly.
because it was right before he wrecked shop. It's like, okay, if I am the most vulnerable and I'm the most intimate with this guy.
Right.
I'm asking him for help. No, I'm good.
Black unrest is not our cup of tea. Whatever he said, he's like, you're gonna have to handle black unrest
On your own.
Oh, bro, like, and not to be lost either is that when they were
can I say something too?
their photo,
Right? Can I say something too?
yeah.
He brought Hooded Justice into the Minutemen. Like,
Right, and then at the photo shoot, it's like he's trying to talk. No, let us talk. Just cut him off. He was trying to talk. He's like, no, let us. You just.
Well, he sold him on the idea of heroism and being a team and being
need
a
a team,
community.
yes.
And then when he calls in on that, he's like, nope.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
like that is
Right.
terrible.
It's crazy.
Like,
It's crazy.
he even-
and clearly he's not a racist, right? Like we know this, but on the surface,
Well,
see,
no.
well,
that's what I'm saying. See it, and it goes back to Senator Keene.
Right.
It's like this whole idea of like, well, I'm a good racist.
a good.
It's like, but you're
Okay,
still
I see what you're
racist.
saying.
Like,
I see what you're
you
saying.
still,
I can see what you're saying.
You come off as being
True.
like Judd. We'll get
True.
to that too. He's like,
Right.
He's like, well, I'm doing you people good. You people.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
you
like,
people, yeah. He hit us with the you people.
But the thing is-
get on up there and kill yourself.
But
Hit us
again,
with the you people.
But again, it's the good intentions. It's like you have these good intentions, but it's laced in racism.
Yeah.
And you're not doing any good.
Yeah, and that's true because they racist. You're right. I take that back. They racist.
He used them.
Yeah,
he pretty much used them for his sexual.
But see, what's funny is racist will use that to like justify. Oh, he's not racist.
Friends.
Look, exactly. I wouldn't have hired him if I was a racist. No, you hired him because he serves a purpose for you. You can still be racist and have a beer with somebody if you getting something out of the deal.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And I think that's what's lost, and clearly that is what has happened here. We need you. You know, everybody looks up to you. Don't take your hood off, though. Mm-hmm. Don't take your hood off. It's such a shame no one can see how beautiful you are, gassing them up and stuff.
He played them.
Keep your robe on. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, bro.
Right.
And so, like you said, I believe that might have been it. Like even more so than.
But if you really think about it, he said, "I want to try something. I want you to put your mask back on." I can't.
I'll wear mine. I'll wear mine, and you wear yours.
You're not a person to me.
Right.
That's hard.
I mean, even slavery. I mean, you hear stories where they use sex as a tool too. I'm not saying Metropolis was doing that here, but I mean, it's that layered, it's that intricate, it's that, and then that's where it goes back to the black and white again. It's like it is black and white. You're racist, like it's
black
even
and
though
white
it's
sharing the bed.
Right.
It's just so much imagery, man. It's crazy.
But in terms of breaking point, right? Reeves tried to do it right every time.
Single time.
He did, and then
let me call this in. I'm not going to act.
I'm not going to
calling it in.
Right.
And that's where I think it just crushed him. You know, and does he quit the force at that point? Because I know we.
I think that was when he went on his solo until he disappeared in '55. Well, I can't wait till they address that because in the book that's what happened, right? He was no more, wasn't seen anymore. He's supposed to have turned up, right? Is that part of the?
It was part of Peteypedia. He in Peteypedia. Did you read that?
Remind me.
So in Peteypedia, there was the will of Nelson Gardner.
Oh, so awesome!
Yes,
and they said that Will was over a theater that got
a theater. The irony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's been working.
Right.
but also wait. So did Nelson left him his fortune? Didn't he?
Yes, he left him his estate.
So we're also left with this idea because in the original Watchmen, you get by the end. Spoiler alert. Veidt has been working behind the scenes this whole time.
Right.
So now you have a Will Reeves that has been given a huge lever to power by getting a cash infusion.
Yes.
Right.
Also, I mean, I didn't realize this till now. Think about that. At some point, Nelson, unless there was some duplicitous way of getting in on that will, then Nelson actually did bequeath this.
Yes.
So there's something going on there that's at least a little bit more complicated than he's using for his body.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. I think he got his head, didn't he? I think he got that head somewhere.
Oh, you got to explain that.
Yeah, he got decapitated. My man got decapitated, and Captain Metropolis died in a car accident, and his head got cut off, and they didn't recover the head, and nobody knows where it's at.
And when you have a missing head in a story, it's got to turn
up somewhere.
Right.
Why? I mean, he might have taken it over to Lady True's crib, and I don't know what they doing. I don't know. He's got the head, right? He's got it.
You know, in the original Watchmen 2, I forgot about this. I was just brushing up, right? Mm-hmm. So the comedian is the one that basically says to Veidt, "Oh yeah, you're going to bust these crimes, but what about this crime syndicate?" Right?
Yeah.
Or the illusion being like, "How far are you going to go?"
Right.
To which Veidt says, basically, I'm going to go all the way.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so it takes him years, and he, trains under the best masters, and learns how, mind control to a degree, and then physical prowess. I think Will's been on a journey.
Yeah, man. Because he's got the new mind control too now. And who
Lady
knows
True,
what he's gonna do with it, man.
And his relationship with
tight,
Lady,
and he's got all the money between his little inheritance and her trillions.
Also in Peteypedia, when she was constructing the Millennium Clock,
right?
Oh, yeah.
Which Lindelof says you will see how it works in the finale. He made a point of saying that in the construction, I guess she pissed off a lot of folks. Like she messed up something.
Yeah.
And as a gift, she was like,
HDTVs
here's these
to
HDTVs to
everyone.
everyone in the tri-state area.
Yes.
What's broadcast over those?
You don't know,
What
but
kind of signal?
my
Well,
man got the
I know
signal.
American Crime Story is.
Yeah, but
Our American Hero Story.
is there some flicker on that show?
It
Maybe?
probably quite a bit.
That's great.
It's great.
Yeah.
Have a TV.
On us.
You know, so Mr.
Right.
Nuts. Have a TV.
Right.
It's a friend of ours just buys TVs for folks.
that's his third.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great, man.
Yeah. So okay. Well, let's talk about the payoff.
Okay.
Of Judd getting strung up.
Yeah.
That was powerful too.
Yep.
Like hearing that conversation, to me, struck a chord because, of course, I mean, people have seen what happens, but Will is using this mind control thing, and I'm like, oh, that's how he strung him up.
Yeah.
Cyclops. One eye.
Right. Right. And he's like,
Go ahead and hang yourself.
right. What's interesting, he used it on Angela, and Angela said, turn that thing off.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
He was trying to use it on Angela.
Yeah.
That was crazy too.
But he did turn it off.
He did turn it off, but he did flash her a couple. He flashed her sometimes.
Well,
Because it
needed
didn't
to
take
put-
long.
Well, didn't he say put the gun down?
Ooh, I need to watch that again
Oh,
and see if
good
she
catch.
went like.
This show, because I always assumed that was just used as a way of disorienting, essentially.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
At first, I was like,
Go
"Oh,
back.
he's
I think he told her to put the gun down with
man.
it, and then
Show.
right." That's crazy. So anyway,
Yeah, you're,
yeah.
so look at it.
So anyway, we see how he strung Judd up, and it was like he didn't string him up. I mean, he did,
Yeah.
but
Poor
Judd
Judd.
strung
Just
himself
jump
up.
on up there.
And I was just like, "Wow, you commit suicide and die, and I'm gonna watch you." But he has this conversation with him that was so powerful,
right.
Like, I
and
know
he
who
said,
you are.
"You have,"
You
and
have
this
a
is
robe in your closet. The man said, "It's my heritage."
ooh, I got chill,
Yeah.
wait.
A phrase
Oh, no.
oft uttered.
dude. I gotta chill, man.
What?
Remember when Angela brought the robe and he said he acted as if like
yeah, he did act as he acted like he didn't know about the robe.
so maybe never mind. I'm not gonna go there. My mind will melt
Okay.
if I think about
He
that
did
because I'm
act
thinking
like-
about time and
Yeah,
how
he acted like he didn't. Yeah, he did.
he acted surprised like
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't know-
literally.
do the robe. I didn't know.
right.
Yeah.
But he says to him, "You have a robe in your closet," and he said, "Well, that was my daddy's robe or grandfather's robe, right?" And he said, and he was like, "I'm proud of my legacy." And he said, "If you're so proud of your legacy, why do you hide it in the closet?" And I was like, "Wow!" Like, I mean, the Confederate flag, all this stuff. I mean, people like, well, that's a legacy.
Yeah,
it's like
it's not hate; it's heritage. That's what they say.
you're right, and it's like the symbolism of that is crazy.
Thank you. So.
Well, then okay, so we got Judd also saying, you people, I'm doing this for you people. You don't understand.
Right.
This is the other side of the coin
Right.
to what the senator's been doing.
Yes.
With the cavalry.
Yeah.
So we got two conspiracies working opposite each other too, right?
Right.
Because whatever they had worked out, and then now True and Reeves have something going. So these things are coming to a head,
Right.
whatever the two are. But I'm reminded of the original Watchmen, right? And we got Veidt. I still don't quite buy why he would tell Redford in a long, several hour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
I
know.
think
not
that.
working.
Yeah,
I think that was manufactured.
Yeah, we all think that there's not much to that other than trying to get my man Wade to do what he needed to do. But who knows?
But there's
It's
truth to
HBO.
it,
Yeah,
right?
Truth to
yeah. I
it.
mean, he was telling the truth about his orchestrated, squid drop and all
Right.
of that. But all the other stuff about just long and drawn out orchestrated plan to get Redford, I don't know.
Which he knew. But anyway, here's the thing, though. Here's what I'm wondering. At the end of that, he said, "I'm doing that. I did this to make a stronger and more loving America."
Yeah.
I'm
More
really,
equal for
I'm hurting here, wondering like, is everybody's best intentions ultimately going to doom us, right? Because Ozymandias thought he was doing the right thing, and he saved millions of lives, or tens
From
of
the
millions,
Cold
hundreds
War.
of millions.
Yeah.
By sacrificing 3 million, but not only 3 million, right? But it was also then the generational trauma because the idea of the squid
Ripple
having the
effect, ripple
psychic-
effect.
yeah. And also, I'm going to remind you every once in a while that this is still out there. I'm going to rain squid on your
just
head.
in case you decide to go awry.
So I guess my impulse in this story is like, I want to see them set this right. But we're kind of being set up for
Another
doom. Whatever they have worked out, because ultimately I think that what's being said is if you try to manipulate human nature, if you try to coerce people into your grand plan, it's just going to...
You're playing God.
Sideways.
You're playing God, basically.
And where's Dr. Manhattan?
Right.
Well, that's
yeah, but for real, like it is. These people are playing God.
But see, Dr. Manhattan, in the book, he says,
There's no point. I already know.
well, because of his power, he knows that there's somebody. That's how I read it.
Go ahead.
There's somebody greater than him.
Oh, okay.
That's the way I read it, because he's like, I'm not pulling the strings.
Yeah, he said he's a puppet. He's
right.
Everybody's a puppet. He can see the strings, is what he was
Right.
saying.
Can see
and
the
he,
strings,
and he
right.
doesn't.
And he
doesn't manipulate anything.
Right.
He just knows. Like there's no concept of past and future and all that with him. It's just all there, and it's
Right.
just like, and I'm not powerless to do anything, but it doesn't make sense to do anything. Right? It's just I can see it. There's no need of me trying to alter it because that's not his role, right?
Right.
He's a complicated dude.
Yeah. So I don't know if they call Dr. Manhattan godlike.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's supposed to be an allegory for the God.
Yeah.
In this universe, like he truly knows how this
What's
is
gonna
all going to
happen.
play out.
Right. We're set up for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got 3 episodes.
Yeah, this episode alone, like I thought they did a bang up job on the Looking Glass thing.
Yes.
I was not
Yeah.
prepared for this. I was not
I
prepared.
thought
for
I
this.
was when we saw the next week. I thought, it's
No.
going to be good nostalgia. It's just 10 times better than I even thought it was going to be.
Rolls
Right.
texted me, he said, "You're not ready for this."
Not ready.
Right. I wasn't ready. I literally
No
had
one was ready.
I had my mouth open the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm watching it with my wife, and she's invested, but she's not, like, she'll look on her phone, but like I would catch her, like she would look up and go,
What?
What just happened? Like, and I'm sitting there just like, what? And it was hitting me on so many.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It hit me on the geek level. It hit me on being a person of color. It hit me on. It hit me on like I'm trying. I'm really trying to walk in my faith as a Christian, and that's a thing about this show that poses a question every single time. Like I connect with Will, Hooded Justice. I understand why he did what he did, but it's
wrong.
It's still wrong.
Right.
Even though
In light of everything.
even though there's this history of he's getting beaten down, his
Constantly.
everything
Physically
around
and
him has
mentally
gotten
and
destroyed
emotionally,
by
yeah.
another race. I don't blame him, but it's wrong.
Yeah, it's the wrong response.
And it goes back to like
Makes it really
and
sentimental.
I really feel like God was definitely using Martin Luther King as a vessel, like the biblical teaching of turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, how many cheeks do we got? It's like
right.
like the time that we're in now, it's like it's very hard.
Yes.
I mean, it's really hard. I mean, to do that, and there's a lot of anger and a lot of things you have to process, and then flush it down the toilet to still be nice. Like I still don't understand how my parents are able to sanely walk in this world after what they went through as kids growing up and as teenagers. I mean, even adults. Like, I mean, maybe when I was born was maybe when there was like a turn to like, okay, we can live in this world, okay? Like that hit me the hardest.
Absolutely. And I would think that for this day and age too, the question is, can we trust our institutions, right? And the thesis here is saying, yeah, it's what you got. Like if you're putting faith in America and in the Constitution and
Right.
checks and balances you have to trust that those have not been co-opted and perverted to the point where they cannot root out an infection. Mm-hmm. And it's hard, right?
That's getting tested right now.
Really,
No,
believe it.
I
It's
hear you.
Failing.
Because if I'm just going to go ahead and say this.
Yeah.
If the evidence stacks up and it's proven that this evidence is factual in this impeachment hearing,
Yes.
and he doesn't get impeached, it says a lot about our country.
It absolutely does.
It says we don't care. We don't care that this is getting corrupted. We don't care about the institution that you just brought up. I mean, I hate to be that sobering about it, but that's what it is. And I mean, I'll be honest, as a person of color, we've shared a Saturday Night Live skit. Kenan Thompson, there was a Saturday Night Live skit where he's basically, they're basically going over Trump's,
all the white
presidencies,
people are
like
yeah,
all
it's gonna
turn.
It's and this is here we go. It's gonna and he's ain't
not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
And that's like our
Right.
attitude.
And it's like, do you blame us? Like,
not gonna happen.
we try to be optimistic. We've always tried to turn the other cheek and hope for the best, but to keep getting paid off with.
But we are all hooded justice one decision away.
This is crazy, and that's the
From
crazy
the
part
alley.
too. That's the crazy part too. It's like
Who was everybody's breaking point?
true, but like for a race of people, like pretty much that's the atom bomb you're talking about. It's like there's a billion hooded justices out there. We're all stewing in anger,
Right.
and it's what do we do with it? It's crazy, like
I mean, how is this show not asking the most relevant questions right now? Right?
Right.
It is.
Yeah, it's
This
asking
is
all
it.
of them, and that's why folks don't like it. It's like, no,
Yep.
well, I want fight. That's all they want to
Right.
see is a fight. The fighting was good. It was good.
I really do hope Faith is addressed in the next episode too. She's Sister Knight. Like, there's some part of her story that made her put on a nun's outfit.
Yeah,
Correct.
that
And-
I am interested in.
And that is the one aspect of the show that I feel like of the realm of justice and the media, Faith has not been a central point.
Right.
And I'm with you in terms of like beyond our patriotism and what we believe in terms of our institution. What does it mean to be a person of faith and also put ourselves on God's timeline?
Right.
That's hard.
right.
Because it's not.
It's all about what we feel and our emotions and not
And don't
about our
have
greater
kids.
Plan that's the,
I look at my kids and go, will it change? Like, that's a question that haunts me every day. Will it change? Are we still, is it going to change? And to your point, that was the beauty of it too. For Angela to have this experience, it defines her character as a hero. Will she be the best hero possible, knowing that she lived through her grandfather,
Yes.
who could potentially be the antagonist or the protagonist? I don't know. I have no
Depends,
idea.
yeah.
And he said, they're going to hate me after what I do for them.
Right.
yeah.
Doesn't he say that to True? So he already knows whatever he's going to do, some Band-Aid he's going to rip off.
Right.
There's
You're
almost
gonna
a
betray her or something. He said
for your own good kind of mentality. It's layered.
It's super
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just crazy.
But I guess what I'm saying is, like,
Sorry,
with
yeah.
Sister Knight, like, her first act, from what we understand, she was literally breaking the law and expressing some she's saying, I smell bleach.
Yep, I
And,
go get
and
it.
just immediately,
White privilege,
like,
bleach.
you can tell that anger is there, and it's built, and it was embedded in her DNA.
Yeah.
So the fact that she went through this experience, I would love to see what.
Yeah,
I'm
you
curious
go
to see
either
what
way.
Sister Knight is going to be at the end of this
That's
story.
a great point. Yeah.
Like, will she be a better hero, or will
just
she
even
just be
angry
or
like,
double
I
down?
saw, yep. It was like,
Right.
"Arr," yep.
Right.
You can go
So-
either way.
Yeah. Man.
Show's great.
Yeah. Best hour on television I've seen.
This is great. Until next week.
Yes. And then another.
Because they just been going up and up, and you know what I'm saying, and raising the stakes every week, man.
The nine episode condensed. I love that formula. I actually like it in the Netflix shows too, where it's like just 8 episodes.
Yeah, don't do
because they
yeah,
get
I-
right to the
get right
they
to
get
the-
right to the meat, and it's
Yeah.
not long and
There's
drawn
no
out.
fat on this show.
No,
No.
not time to be playing around. That's
No.
what I like. You know,
It's cooked just right too, man.
because there's a whole lot of beef, a whole lot of beef every week.
Right.
But oh man, watch the show. Well, if you listen to the podcast, you watching the show. If not, we are spoiled it to death for you.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert, y'all. Psych.
And an hour and a half in, spoiler alert. Yeah, Who the Justice is a black person. Crazy. Michael,
Yes.
thank you so much for your perspective.
Yes.
Man, like I said, we pride ourselves on this show to offer both sides, many different sides. So, man, because the show is more than a superhero show, and I don't know how many times we can say that. We've said it so many times, but this is the best show on television.
Indeed.
It's the best show
Yes.
on television. Although we do like The Mandalorian, it's still not. It's not
fun.
better. It's not
Right.
better than Watchmen, because this is relevant to the time. It's speaking to the people, and a lot of times saying some things that the people don't necessarily want to hear. But I think it's
And
good.
that's hard to do, and it's brave. Like to
Because
during this time.
right? Everybody's been hurt. You know what I'm saying? Black, white, everybody
Yes.
has felt something that they didn't particularly like. It's hard to watch Tulsa and lynchings and stuff like that, and it's hard, I'm sure, for members of the white community to see the perpetrators. That's like, that's not what you know what I'm saying. So it's not like it's this, we're just one side, we're blaming everybody, and everybody has a story, right? Everybody has a story, and I think they're telling it well in that writers' room.
Yes.
Kudos to everyone in there. Continue to give.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it's already done. I'm sure they're just sitting back and waiting for more accolades. It's got to win something.
It has to win Emmys.
It's got to.
I mean,
it's great.
isn't that the highest? The Emmys, pretty much,
Yes,
for
yeah.
TV
Yeah,
shows.
for TV.
Yeah.
And then stop. No, just one season of it. Stop after this.
What's your feelings about that? Do you think they should
I think
just
it should stop. Land the plane and stop.
Yeah, if he needed a reason to do this season, then he's not going to have a reason right away to do a second season. There's no reason. This is it.
Yes.
Just the Watchmen the TV show.
No, because
There doesn't need to be a second.
It
season.
won't. This
what
one
could you
has
do?
to.
What could you
This
do?
one has to sit like a time capsule.
I agree.
It has to just sit there.
Wait another 20, 30 years.
Convince there might be something in the ending that can convince me otherwise, but right now let this be its thing. In the same way I felt about the original
book,
Watchmen, right?
right.
It's like let this just sit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah. Just let it go. Just sit. But until then, man, just watch the rest of these episodes. We got 3 more to go. And we are your source here.
Yeah. Do you have anything you need to you want to pump up or?
Yeah.
No, guys, I love listening to podcasts after the fact, right? Like the Breaking Bad podcast was great for the creators to talk about their process. But honestly, guys, I've been just a fan listening to you, but then also like this feels necessary, right? The show isn't about craft or about Easter eggs. It's about conversation. So I'm loving this. Thanks for having me on.
Man, appreciate you for coming, man. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Right. Thank you
so much.
I appreciate it. Now, I got my book, Feeding Ground. The only reason why I throw it out there, I put this out now, it's almost 10 years ago, but we tried to tell a story that was taking a genre and then marrying it with present day circumstances, right? So what does the border look like through the lens of a werewolf story? And I'd just love to hear if we were successful, right? Like, are we telling a story worth hearing? And I think that's what matters. What are the stories we tell? Why do we tell them? So take a look.
Cool.
It's out there on Comixology too, in case you want.
Yes, it is. There it is.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that, man. You the man, dude.
We'll make sure we have if
You're
you
the
provide
man.
us if you provide us links
Sure.
for our audience to get to it, I will put it in the episode notes.
Okay.
So
Will do.
yeah.
Feeding Ground, folks.
Yeah.
Michael Lipinski, get that book, baby. It's out there on Amazon, and Comixology is an Amazon company,
Yeah.
so I'm sure it's on Amazon. So go out there to that Bezos and get that. Thank you again, Michael, man. And man, stay with us throughout this journey through Tulsa and beyond. Can't wait to see what beyond is, though. The first episode without Ozymandias.
Which was appropriate.
Yes, you don't shoehorn Ozymandias into this.
It would have
cheapened it a little bit. I think so.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think so.
Yeah.
But man, thank you, everybody. Until next time, we'll holler at you.